trap game coming off of Maui before going to Alabama?
I hate that word. What's a trap game?
Well, a game maybe that you might overlook them in favor of heading toward Alabama.
No, I think that, I don't know that there are trap games. That's the phrase that you guys have come up with. And it's cute to talk about, I think, and cute to write. You know, every game is special. And, you know, I said this to the group a couple of weeks ago. You know, there's you guys have heard me say this before. There's only a finite number of games you can play with this group of guys. And I don't think you look at it as a one game, as a good definition trap game. You know, you have to give them credit. I think they came out and really executed and got what they wanted in the first half. You know, it was like we were stuck in mud almost with a lot of our defensive rotations, where they were getting too many open, easy shots. And that's not what we have been about. That's not who we are. But you have to give them credit. They came out and executed. And then in the second half, you know, our guys, you know, ramped it up a little bit. You know, you look at these two guys right here. You know, Nate gets 14 rebounds, Hollis gets 10, and that's good. That's outstanding. I mean, they're capable of doing that, and so now we're going to expect them to do that more often. But it's good to see. You know, a lot of times, so many people, because of what you guys write, define people by baskets and points made. You know, but there's so many other ways, whether it's how you're guarding someone, how aggressive you are on defense, whether you're rebounding, whether you're making a pass, whether you're setting good screens, whether you're communicating on defense. There's so many different ways that you can have a positive impact on the game. And I think these guys did that. And Hollis also scored, but in other ways other than scoring points.
Hey John, to what do you attribute the kind of defensive resurgence? Midway through the first half, they shot 7 for 11. I think they held them to 14 or 50 the rest of the way.
I think we just became a little more attentive. I think guys, you know, at some point, you know, I've said this before, you know, with defense, you can talk about strategies and this, that, and at the end of the day, you just have to have a little bit of pride. You know, and Young is a terrific player, and he had a terrific first half, and I was glad to see our guys decide to I mean, we had a little hand in him not having as good of a second half. And that's just these guys' effort and communication right there. But I think they just turned up the energy. We turned up the energy a little bit.
That 14-4 run, were you pleased with your fast break offense, the decisions being made?
Well, I mean, talk about fast break offense. We weren't getting enough stops or rebounds early to start talking about transition, our transition offense. Once we get stops and rebounds, then we want to get out. And so, yeah, was I pleased with it? Absolutely. But I'm more pleased with what led to that, which was you got to get the stops or the rebounds, which you weren't doing initially.
Hey John, you mentioned Young, and in the first half he had 16 points. He was totally scoreless in the second. I mean, was there something specific that you guys did in the second half to totally shut him down?
No, I'll let these guys talk about that. But I think that, I pointed out to them that he had 16 points at halftime, and that pretty much was it. That was only adjustment. There was no other adjustments we made in guarding.
Talk a little bit about Nate's performance, just also coming off the Memphis game as well, and how he's had to kind of grow and change as he's gotten used to this group that you're playing with this year.
I don't know that. Yes, he has. We all have. I don't think that's something that's happened this past week. You know, that's something we've been going through, and you know, it was good to see. A couple of his shots I thought were going to go down, didn't go down today. But we need Nate on the boards. We need him to be a presence in there. Which when no one else seemed to want to do it today, you know, these two did.
And also Hollis, just it seems like you guys don't, there isn't, I think in normal Georgetown fashion, that you just don't focus on trying to get him going necessarily right away, but he finds a way to get himself involved in the game at crucial stretches.
Which is why we don't have to find a way for him. He usually figures out how to get himself going. You know, the one thing I'm most pleased, I think, with Hollis, and not just today, is you know, Hollis can shoot. Hollis can really shoot. But the other parts of the game, be it defense, be it rebounding, I think his communication with his teammates is at a much higher level than it was in previous years. And so he is able to be so much, to do everything on the court well, I think. And now he just has to continue to embrace and take pride in all aspects of the game, as well as scoring buckets.
Questions for the players?
Nate, can you kind of assess your game today? I think in the first half you had a shot block or two inside. In the second half, you really kind of finished with a flourish there. With that two-handed dunk especially that kind of got the crowd to its feet.
Yeah, that was a great pass by Hollis. Struggled early on a little bit, but we just kept playing. And the second half, once we got things going, I started playing a little better, and we all started playing a lot better as a group.
Have you seen your role change as you this year, just compared to maybe what it was last year?
Yeah, I would say a little bit. You know, being somebody who played last year for the team, and us being so young this year, I mean, there's no more excuses about being young. I mean, we're pretty close to heading into Big East play, and nobody cares if you're young. So my role's changed, I think, in terms of being a leader with the way I play, and also off the court.
Was the Memphis game a frustrating game that you wanted to bounce back from as well?
Helped that we won. I mean, yeah, personally it was a frustrating thing, but it was a great game for us, a great win for us, and that's really the only thing that I was focused on. I was just really happy we won. That's all I care about.
Their coach said they were hoping you guys were still kind of stuck on Maui time. Did you kind of feel maybe in the first part of the game that was the case, and you kind of got it going eventually?
I mean, I don't think we could really blame them in the first half on Maui time, but I do think a couple of us are still on Maui time. I mean, yes, but they're unrelated.
What about the team defense in the second half, and especially the rebound? I mean, that was key to this whole second half.
Well, I think defensively we hold ourselves to a certain standard, and in the first half that really wasn't what we would like to think of ourselves as defensively. So in the second half we recognized that, and we picked it up when we adjusted and we made the proper adjustments. So.
Like Coach said, are you comfortable knowing that you will find your times in games? Do you start a game ever sort of more anxious to get yourself going early?
I mean, not really. I think usually offensively we do a pretty good job as a team of scoring. I think because we do such a good job as a team of scoring, I can find my baskets here and there within the offense, so I don't worry about it too much.
Jason kind of struggled tonight. Did you feel like you had to step up or take on additional load or anything like that?
I mean, not really. Like I said earlier, I think as a team, the way we play, I mean, anybody can score at any time. So I think when we do similar offense, like baskets come, no matter who it is.
Stark, you were able to push the ball, kind of push the tempo a little bit. Talk about your play overall today.
Wanted to be a little bit more aggressive. I think in my way I was playing a little bit conservative. I think since I've been here, I've played a little bit more conservative. Watching a lot of tape, seeing the opportunities where I can attack more, and just want to exploit it today.
Marco, you guys had a season low of 7 turnovers. Was that kind of something you were focusing on coming into this game, to ball security?
So can you repeat that question?
You guys had season low 7 turnovers. Were you kind of focusing a little bit more on ball security this game as opposed to some of the others?
Absolutely. Well, we always, every possession matters. So, sure, absolutely. We want to take care of the ball. We want to have, take advantage of each possession.
What were the things that you were impressed by the most from the games you guys have played in Maui?
We're a really good team, most of all. Defensively we struggled a little bit tonight, but we're a good defensive team, and we're a great offensive team as well. When we get it going, we get it going, and I think the more and more we keep playing together, it's going to really come together.
What kind of player is Alex Young?
He's left-handed. He's athletic. I can't really explain, what he is. I mean, that's for the writers.
What was the discussion like amongst the players at halftime? Coach said you guys didn't make any actual adjustments. It was just about you guys.
We just said, let's defend him. He has half the points. let's play some defense, and we played defense in the second half. We didn't communicate a lot in the first half. That's key, in any sport. You have to be able to communicate. And once we communicated, boxed out, that's where we were able to stop it.
Any other questions?
Coach Jason crossed the 1,000 points tonight. Can you just talk a little bit about, him as a player? And he had a great tournament in Maui, and maybe not a great night tonight, but just some words about him.
No, he didn't have a good night at all tonight. But that's fine. That's what team is about the other people that were ready to step up and pick up the piece. I kept, as a coach, you know, I kept waiting for him to hit one and get out of it and get out of it. You know, I thought about taking him out, you know, a little bit earlier than I did, but I kept wanting him to, you know, I wanted to begin with something positive. But I mean, Jason Clark is an honest player. He's going to give you an honest effort every day. He also understands just you have to do everything, and so I was glad for him getting his 1,000 point, and now we'll give him a ball sometime soon here, forget about it, and keep playing.
Anything else?
Thank you.